Our brain may forget a traumatic experience, but our body remembers that trauma. Many people don't even recall their trauma, yet whenever a similar situation or trigger arises, their body reacts every time. These issues won't heal just by talking in therapy sessions because trauma is nonverbal and it's an emotional shutdown where the nervous system stops feeling altogether. This part is shocking. Many people keep visiting doctors, undergoing test after test, but all the test reports come back completely normal. Why does this happen? Now, the question is healing truly possible? Yes, absolutely possible. In fact, not only is healing possible, but it's also scientifically proven. However, for this, we need to involve the body, mind, and nervous system together. Take 5 seconds to inhale, hold your breath for 5 seconds, and exhale for 5 seconds. This is called triangle breathing. It immediately rewires the nervous system, making you feel really good, truly awesome. Sometimes, you might feel like your mind wants to move forward, but your body feels stuck, as if, without any reason, an old memory or pain keeps flashing in your mind. You're in a safe place today, life is going well, but still, something feels disturbing inside you. That anxiety, that restlessness, those old patterns repeating again and again. This isn't just stress, it could be trauma. The biggest message of the best-selling book The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk is that the things we've forgotten, our body still remembers. This book explains that trauma isn't just a bad incident. Trauma is something that changes your brain, mind, and body from within. Until we include the body in the healing process, actual recovery isn't possible. Many people try to heal by thinking positively or repeating affirmations, but if your body feels unsafe, even manifestation gets blocked. In this book summary, we'll explore how trauma affects the brain and body, what symptoms arise, and how body-based tools like breathwork, yoga, and neurofeedback can facilitate healing. If you're a coach, healer, or simply seeking emotional freedom, this summary could be a game changer for you. But before you get lost in this video, if you're visiting our channel for the first time, please subscribe. Our videos can sometimes be a bit long because we never compromise on content quality, so it's important to watch until the end. Let's get started. First, let's understand what trauma is. This question is extremely important. Most people think trauma only happens when there's a major accident or someone physically hurts you. But Dr. Bessel says trauma isn't just what happened to you, trauma is what stays inside you afterward. In other words, trauma is not the event, it's the internal experience of helplessness, fear, and loss of control. Your brain may somehow forget the incident, but your body never forgets. When we go through a traumatic experience, like childhood abuse, emotional neglect, a breakup, betrayal, or even a natural disaster, our brain detects danger and switches to survival mode. This survival mode can take 3 forms: fight, reacting, flight, running away, or freeze, going into shock. At this time, a specific part of the brain, the amygdala, becomes hyperactive, and the prefrontal cortex, responsible for thinking and logic, shuts off. This means you start reacting without thinking. If this trauma isn't resolved, it becomes a chronic pattern, and even years later, the body feels the danger hasn't passed. It's not necessary that trauma always stems from a major event. Sometimes, small things can become trauma too, like when your parents ignored you, when no one understood your emotions, when someone told you to shut up or stop crying, or when you faced repeated rejection. These can also become emotional trauma. The biggest thing is that trauma's impact is subconscious. You might think everything is fine, but your body sends signals through stress, fear, and overreaction. The author repeatedly highlights that childhood trauma has the most long-lasting impact because, during childhood, the nervous system is in a developing stage. If a child doesn't feel safe during this time, their body defaults to feeling unsafe. If you didn't receive love in childhood or were constantly blamed, you start believing you're not good enough, and this belief persists into adulthood. I'm not worthy, no one can love me, Everyone will abandon me. These aren't just thoughts, they become the wiring of our nervous system. The scariest part of trauma is that if it isn't healed, it repeats. You fall into unconscious patterns, like attracting toxic relationships, overreacting in every situation, struggling to trust even the closest people, or feeling anxious despite everything being fine. Trauma happens in the past, but its effects damage both the present and the future. Now, let's understand how the body remembers what the mind forgets. We've reached a point in this book that forms its foundation. Our brain may forget a traumatic experience, but our body remembers that trauma. The author has studied this deeply and says, trauma is not just a story of the past, it's a living, breathing experience inside your body in the form of tension, tightness, stress, and shutdown. Trauma isn't just a past story, it's alive in our body today through tension, tightness, stress, or feeling completely shut down. In reality, the brain has 3 levels where trauma's effects occur. First is the reptilian brain, or survival brain, the oldest part responsible for basic survival functions like breathing, heartbeat, and digestion. Second is the limbic system, or emotional brain, which handles emotions, memories, and fear responses. Third is the neocortex, or rational brain, responsible for logical reasoning and language understanding. When trauma occurs, the reptilian brain activates first, saying run or fight. Then the limbic system reacts with fear, terror, or helplessness, and finally, the neocortex, which should think logically, shuts off. That's why, during trauma, you react without thinking. What does the body do after trauma? It either fights, flees, or, if no option is available, freezes. The freeze mode means the body goes numb, emotionally shuts down, or feels disconnected from the world. This gets stored so deeply that, years later, without any reason, your heart starts racing, or you feel fear or guilt. A shocking finding in Dr. Bessel's research was that many people don't even remember their trauma, but whenever a similar situation or trigger arises, their body reacts every time. For example, if someone faced abuse in childhood and today their boss speaks in a slightly loud tone, they immediately become anxious because their brain associates that tone with danger. Their body remembers it even if they don't consciously recall when the abuse happened. This point is crucial to understand. Trauma rewires your nervous system, creating an invisible programming. You overreact, shut down, struggle to control emotions, or stay constantly on alert as if danger is still present. These issues won't heal just by talking in therapy sessions because trauma is nonverbal, beyond words. So, where does healing begin? You need to understand that feeling what we feel and understanding what we know are both essential. Healing starts when you begin noticing your body's signals, so when you realize which emotion makes your chest tight, which memory makes you freeze, or which sound, smell, or voice takes you back to past trauma. This awareness is the first step. You need to listen to your body and slowly retrain your system. Now, let's understand what trauma symptoms look like and how they appear in daily life. You might think trauma only affects those who go to war, face assault, or experience serious accidents. But the truth is, trauma is everywhere, and often, we don't even recognize its pain. Dr. Bessel, the author of this book, says that people who've experienced trauma may look completely normal on the outside but are still stuck in survival mode on the inside. You might wonder, if I or a friend don't even remember a traumatic memory, how do we know if trauma is stored inside? Let's talk about the symptoms of those small things that repeat in daily life but have their root cause in trauma. Constant anxiety and overthinking. You get stressed over small things. Until you get a reply, your mind isn't at peace, or if someone speaks loudly from a distance, your body tenses up. This isn't just worry, it's hypervigilance, a key symptom of trauma. Sleep issues. You have nightmares or can't fall asleep. Trauma survivors often fear sleep because they don't feel safe. They either have bad dreams or their body stays in an alert state. You wake up feeling unrefreshed because your body spent the whole night in fight mode. Emotional numbness, you don't feel happiness or pain. After trauma, people often freeze emotionally. It's as if the body muted their emotions for survival. People say, "I don't feel anything." This is an emotional shutdown where the nervous system stops feeling. Relationship problems, trust issues or overdependency arise. Trauma's biggest impact is on relationships. If you faced rejection, abandonment, or abuse in childhood, you either find it hard to trust anyone or become overly clingy in relationships. You don't feel safe, so you either become emotionally unavailable or overly dependent on others. Physical symptoms without medical cause. This part is shocking. Many people keep visiting doctors, undergoing test after test, but all reports come back normal. Why? They feel constant fatigue, joint pain, or digestive issues. These aren't just physical, they're emotional pain stored in the body. Repeating toxic patterns, the same struggles happen again and again. Notice if you always attract the same kind of toxic people or feel stuck in jobs or relationships. This isn't a personal weakness, it's a subconscious trauma loop. Until you release the root memory, these patterns will keep repeating. Self-sabotage and guilt. You feel you don't deserve success or love. Many people say, "Bad things always happen to me, I'm made for this, my fate is bad." This deep guilt or shame is a trauma effect. Until your emotions are released, you consciously or unconsciously punish yourself. Trauma isn't just a memory, it's an invisible virus that silently affects your mind, emotions, and body. The author says, the body reacts even when the mind forgets. If you recognize yourself or others in these symptoms, it's a signal for healing. Your body is saying, "Please help me heal." Now, let's understand why just talking isn't enough. Today, whenever someone has trauma or emotional issues, the first suggestion is to take therapy, talk to someone. Yes, talking is definitely helpful, but the author reveals a shocking truth. Trauma resolution doesn't happen just by talking because trauma is nonverbal. Something beyond language can't be healed just with language. We think sharing or explaining our problems will start healing, but trauma isn't connected to the logical brain, it's tied to the survival brain. When a traumatic event occurs, the brain's language center shuts down. You can't explain how you feel. In therapy, when you're asked to talk about your feelings, how can you talk if you can't feel? Patients often say, "I know I'm safe now, but the fear inside me won't go away." There's a disconnect between understanding and feeling. You consciously know there's no danger, but your body reacts as if you're still unsafe. This disconnect is common, proving that talking is only a surface-level tool, not a deep-level one. Many think repeatedly talking about trauma will heal it, but instead, they relive the trauma, reactivating fear, guilt, and shame as if the event just happened. The result? Their anxiety increases even after therapy because they can't release it, they keep repeating it. No real healing can happen unless the body feels safe. This line is powerful. No matter how much your mind understands, healing won't start until your body feels safe. This safety doesn't come from talking alone, it comes from deep breaths, a calm heartbeat, feeling grounded, or when touch, movement, or silence brings comfort. That's why body-based healing approaches like yoga and breathwork are so effective. They work on the nervous system, helping you listen to the body's language and release stuck energy. For example, a person who faced childhood abuse couldn't speak in therapy for 3 months. But when given yoga and a safe breathing space, their body started relaxing. Only then did they say, "I'm alive." This is the power of body-based healing. Now, let's talk about healing tools to recover from trauma. So far, we've understood that trauma isn't just a memory, it changes the wiring between our brain and body, and talking alone doesn't fix it. But the question is healing truly possible? Yes, absolutely. Not only is it possible, but it's scientifically proven. However, we need to involve the body, mind, and nervous system. Let's look at some powerful healing tools explained in the book to overcome trauma. Yoga. It's not just for stretching but for making the body feel safe. Deep breathing and mindful movement shift your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest mode. Daily 20-minute yoga practice brings emotional stability. Breath work, healing through breathing. During trauma, breathing becomes short and shallow. Breath work retrains the body. Deep belly breaths, inhaling and exhaling by expanding and contracting the stomach to slow your heart rate, signaling to the body that everything is okay. Practice 5 seconds inhale, 5 seconds exhale, for 5 minutes daily. This immediately rewires the nervous system, making you feel awesome. Neurofeedback, tuning the brain. This advanced, fascinating therapy monitors brain waves with sensors, providing live feedback to correct patterns. Trauma makes brain waves hyperactive or underactive. Neurofeedback balances them. It's best for deep traumas where regular therapy doesn't work. EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, a globally famous trauma healing technique. Traumatic memories are recalled while simultaneous eye movements or tapping occur. This allows the brain to process the memory without triggering the body, turning it into a normal memory without emotional charge. Highly recommended for abuse, loss, or accident cases. Somatic experiencing and touch work. Trauma isn't just in the brain, it's stored in body tissues. Somatic experiencing is a body-based therapy where people observe bodily sensations without judgment. Therapists help people feel safe with these sensations to release them. Touch therapy is crucial, especially for those who face neglect, as safe, gentle touch helps the brain rebuild trust. Creative expression, art, dance, and writing. For many, art therapy, dance movement, or journaling become healing sources. When words fail, the body and soul express through these mediums. Painting, music, or journaling help safely process inner emotions. Now, it's important to understand that inner safety is the real foundation. Think about it, if you constantly feel something bad is about to happen, how can you relax? You can't. How can you trust others or be open to healing? That's why the author repeatedly says, the opposite of trauma is not the absence of pain, it's the presence of safety. Trauma teaches your body that the world isn't safe. Your nervous system stays in constant alert mode. A slightly raised tone increases your heartbeat. A power outage triggers panic. If someone ignores you, you feel unlovable or flawed. These are signs that your body is still in threat mode. Until it gets a safe environment, the door to healing won't open. Many think a safe external environment will start healing, but safety isn't outside, it's inside. Even if you're physically safe, if your nervous system doesn't feel emotionally safe, you can't relax. People tell themselves, I shouldn't be scared, everything's safe, why am I overreacting? But the problem is, trauma isn't logical, it's stored in the body and nervous system. The more you try to rationalize, the tighter your body gets. True healing happens when the body is allowed to feel fear, emotions, and then safety. So, how do we build inner safety? The author suggests simple techniques. Breath and body awareness. Start your day with breathing. Instead of checking your phone in the morning, spend 5 minutes observing your body and breath. Is your chest tight? Is there pressure in your stomach? Is your breath smooth or halting? Practice triangle breathing. 5 seconds inhale, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds exhale, repeated 10 times. This makes the body feel safe and sets a powerful start to the day. Journaling with body check-in. People write thoughts, but the author suggests noting body sensations too. Journaling questions could be, what was the first physical emotion this morning? How did my body react to a thought? Is any part feeling tense? This helps you understand your inner body language, the seed of healing. Grounding exercise. Once a day, for 5 minutes, take off your shoes and stand on grass. Feel your feet's contact with the ground while breathing slowly. This exercise brings you back to the present moment, breaking the trauma loop stuck in the past or future. Mirror work with safe affirmations. Look into your eyes in a mirror and repeat affirmations like, I am safe, I am supported, I am open to healing. Movement therapy, dance, walk, or stretch. Trauma creates a freeze mode, stopping energy flow. Daily movement is slow walks, stretching, or free dancing releases frozen energy. No pressure to work out, just move with presence. Silence practice, spend 10 minutes daily without a phone, music, or activity, or just sit in silence. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but slowly, the body realizes silence isn't empty, it's safe. Silence can trigger trauma, so practice it slowly and mindfully. Remember, healing is a daily ritual. You don't need to perfect everything at once. Just a small daily practice, and gradually, your brain, nervous system, and body will learn to feel trust, peace, and joy again. So, friends, if you've watched this video this far, one thing is clear: you're ready for healing. You don't just want to understand it, you truly want to transform. The Body Keeps the Score teaches us that trauma isn't a weakness, it's a wound seeking attention. Every wound has a path to healing if we have the courage to feel it. I want you to start a small practice today, whether it's 2 minutes of focusing on your breath or a mirror affirmation. Because remember, your mind may forget, but your body still remembers. Until your body releases it, freedom won't come, and things won't move forward.